All right, hello everybody out there online. This is our first week in class when we're doing a katya. I've done an example of one of these on YouTube to try and test it out a little bit. But what it is, you'll have this in your learning package, except for the ones in Altona. I forgot to put it in your learning package. So I'll email it to you later, but, oh boy. But you will have this in your, this isn't good. There we go. In your learning package, and what you're doing is you're looking for 10 mistakes in here. So in stage 2 today, we're going to talk about writing good sentences and nouns and verbs and all that stuff. So we talk about it all the time when we do our katyas. And this would be what step in the writing process. So at what point in the writing process would you now look at your writing and do what we're about to do, catch the mistakes, or edit?
After the first draft.
After the first draft. So if we're thinking tower, we're thinking, organizing, writing, and now we're getting around to editing. Okay? So it's the 4th step. Like most good stories, I shall start mine at the beginning. So there's already a couple of mistakes in there. Can anybody tell me what they are?
There's supposed to be a comma after smooth.
Ah, so why? Can you tell us, Cecily? So there's a period here, but we don't want a period. We want a comma. Can you tell us why? So that's number 1. Anybody want to help her?
It doesn't finish a thought.
Ah, it doesn't finish a thought. So a sentence, as we're going to talk about a lot today in stage 2, expresses one complete thought. If I say, like most good stories, have I finished my thought? No, I haven't. So what this is, and then why do we have a comma? So we still need something. We need a comma there. Does anybody know why?
Because you're continue because I am.
Okay, yeah, so this, like most good stories, is just kind of getting the reader introduced to what you're about to say. Now the real thought comes here. I, that's called your subject. Shall start is a verbal phrase. So I shall start, now you're actually starting your thought. This is just giving you a little extra information, okay? So, like most good stories, I shall start mine at the beginning. And the next mistake should be kind of easy to find, because it's kind of jumping out at you a little bit. What is it? Beginning. Yeah, what's wrong with beginning?
There's supposed to be 2 N's.
Exactly. So we're missing an N here. So the root word is begin. And when we add the ing, and there's an I, there's a vowel right there, we need to make sure we have another N in there. Beginning. And that's our second mistake. Everybody okay so far? Awesome. Okay. I was 17 when I dropped out of my 3rd year of high school. I'm going to come to this side of the room. Anybody who hasn't responded yet? Do you want to give us a guess? So, yeah, what's wrong with 17? Okay, so actually it needs both the E's, but it does not need the dash in the middle. 17 is what we call, it's like a compound word, right? The 7 and the teen are together. They don't need to be separated. It's not a hyphenated word, right? I was 17 when I dropped out of my 3rd year of high school. Anybody? Anna, what's wrong with dropped?
Double P.
You need a double P. Do you know why? Does anybody remember what I said over there when I added the double N?
Because there's a vowel with
Yeah.
P right after.
Yep, there's a vowel right there. Okay, so I need to add that extra P. So that's mistake number 4. Dropped out of my 3rd year of high school. I had come to the decision that I need to work to be able to pay rent and buy groceries. So this one is a little bit tricky. There is a mistake in here. I stopped at groceries because there's a mistake before groceries. Does anybody know what it might be?
Is needed.
Yeah, can you tell us why, Trudy? So we need to add an ed to need. It's needed. So I had come to the conclusion I needed to work to be able to pay rent. So why did you do that, Trudy? Or sorry, person in pink.
Because he's not yet doing it. Because I'm not sure how to explain.
So need is a verb, and is he or she, I don't even know, are they talking about right now or are they talking about the past?
The past.
Ah,
They needed to, like,
yeah, how do we know he's talking about the past, or she?
They say when I was 17 when I dropped.
Okay.
and it said I had.
Yeah, so we already know it's the past here, you're right, Presley, and then you're right here, Anna, so it's all in the past, right? I had come, so we know that is in the past, so I had come to the decision, so it's not right now, it's back then, that I needed to work to be able to pay rent and buy groceries, as I couldn't be dependent upon my mother forever. Go ahead, Presley, what's the next one? She's like, yep, I agree with that person. I mean, sorry, not, I don't know, I didn't say your name, person in the black. What is it? What's the mistake there? It's kind of jumping out at us, as I couldn't be dependent upon my mother forever.
The dependent.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an E.
Yes, and this one, I will tell you guys very honestly, I often struggle with those words where there's the "ent" at the end. I'm always like, is it E-N-T or is it A-N-T? For myself, I always struggle with that. So if you're someone who struggles with that, you're not alone. Your teacher struggles with that as well. Is there any tricks that we could teach ourselves to know that dependent has all E's in it?
Oh, never thought of it.
Yeah. So it's like dependent. They're all, it's not dependent, it's dependent, right? I don't know, maybe we could say, well, A, B, C, D, E. E comes after D in the alphabet, right? And then just, there's just all E's in there.
See,
Okay.
then I will have I have the problem if I sometimes like, I'm not saying this word, but a different word.
Yeah.
Then if it's an E, and then I would put a D in there instead of a T.
Oh.
That's why I struggle a bit.
Independent. So you're saying like the D's coming on in the end. Yeah, yeah. You're not alone in that, Anna. Not at all. Yeah. Independent. Yeah. Upon my mother forever. For the next 7 years of my life, that is what I did. Always thinking in the back of my mind that I want and need to finish my high school education. I'm going to stop there. It's a long sentence, but we need like 4 more, guys. So where are they?
High school.
Okay, that's one. Yeah, for sure. So high school is not a compound word. So here we said 17 is compound. High school is not. That's 2 separate words. And I will tell you that that's number 9. So 7 and 8 are still somewhere in there.
The upon, would it be on my mother forever? Some upon.
No, upon is okay. Yeah, upon, it's kind of wordy, but it is okay. The other 2 errors are in this sentence before high school. So I'll read it to you again. For the next 7 years of my life, that is what I did. Always thinking in the back of my mind that I want and need to finish my high school education.
Wanted and needed.
Yeah, so again, what we're trying to do is stay in the past, right? This person is talking about the past, so our verbs need to be in the past. That I wanted and needed to finish. So that's 7 and 8. My high school education, if I want to better my life. Wanted, thank you. Yeah. That's it. Number 10. Yeah. Any questions? So I'll let you guys know that even in university, people struggle with keeping their verbs in the past when they're writing. They jump from present to future to past, and we tell that all with our verbs. I'll never forget my first English course at university, studying English literature. The professor said, okay, I'm going to give you your essays back, but I want to let you guys know you all need to think about staying in the same verb tense when you're writing, because you're jumping all over the place. So these are people who have their grade 12 and are going on and on and on. So if you struggle with this, you're not alone. Lots of people struggle with keeping the tense, the verb tense in the past or present. So it's a common thing, and it just takes lots of practice. Any questions? Okay, Did anybody have a chance to reflect at the bottom? I said, connect yourself to the story. Ask yourself the following questions. How is the author's experience similar or different from my own experience? Whom is the author writing to, and why is she, or I call the person a she now, why is she writing? Who is the audience, and what is her purpose for writing? Does anyone want to talk to what they think about that?
I said I feel she's writing to the general public.
Okay.
She wants to share her learning experience.
Okay, yeah, so her audience is the general public. For all you stage 3s out there, we've been talking about audience a lot, right? Yeah, so she's not really sharing anything too outrageous that she couldn't share, right? So the general public. And did you say the purpose as well, what you thought the purpose was?
Purpose is to tell her story
Uh-huh.
and describe as well.
Okay, describe, uh-huh.
Yeah.
When people share and describe stories like this, like what do you think, why do you think they're doing it? Or, for example, why do you think I told you that story about people from university and how they can't stay in the right tents either? So why do you think she's doing this, and why did I tell you that story?
It doesn't matter how much people have been studying in the past, they could
Mhm.
still struggle with
Mhm.
the same thing we are, like.
Right, so oftentimes
I'm
people
not
will...
saying that right.
No, it's okay. We'll write stuff like this or say things so that other people don't feel alone, because we often feel like we're the only person. To connect, yeah. And when you can connect with a reading, do you enjoy it more? Yeah, for sure, right? If you can't relate or connect to something, it's really hard to read it because it doesn't really mean anything to you, right? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, that's the end of our Katya. I'm going to turn this off.